Here we go, it is the 2024 Starboard All Star Airline 14 foot. So here it is, the Starboard 2024 All Star Airline. I love this board. That's it. Review over, done. Let me run you through as to why. When the board first came out, the Airline, it was quite evident that really, as a technology, it's kind of a bit weird calling it a technology because it's such a simple concept. In terms of this aramid line that basically goes over the nose of the board all the way back to the fin box and just does a really clear and great job at locking out a board over its entire water length, almost, with the exception of a little bit behind the fin box. And the reason why I love it so much is its simplicity, the fact that it keeps the deck clear, and really just the overall effect that it has on the board. It's dramatic. So much so that really when we've unboxed the board and we've been and paddled it and everything along those lines, that actually doing a deflection test for the first time in a while on this board, it only dropped a quarter of an inch. So by deflection test, I mean we take the board, we span it between two trestles as we have here, and then, yeah, Tom and I, on separate occasions, Tom's who you see in all the videos paddling, got on the board and we simply measured it to see how much it dropped. And yeah, it's just a quarter of an inch. Actually, in time, what we suspect is that that's only going to decrease because you can lock out and adjust the line itself and make it tighter, so that there's almost been no deflection on the board. And that, as a result, means that you end up paddling an inflatable paddleboard, which is as rigid almost as a composite board. Because don't forget, composite boards also flex, particularly when they get to this length of 14 foot. So look, let's run you through the board from the nose down to tail as we do in all of our videos, because there are some changes to this being the 2024 model. Now, the biggest one is the rocker line on this board. The Starboard Airline All Star has been through a couple of generational changes. There are actually two previous models. There was the downwind model, and the downwind model had really one key difference in it compared to the stock, if you like, standard Airline All-Star model, and that was in the rocker line. The downwind ran a really aggressive rocker line, so much so that it almost looked a little bit odd, particularly in flat water, and that it had this kind of nose pick, if you like, in the rocker at the very forward section of the board that forced it pretty much up. You could tune it out a little bit with the Airline, but not massively. Now, by comparison, the stock Airline, let's call it, was much flatter in terms of its rocker line, worked really well in flat water conditions as a result, while the downwind board, as it kind of says in the tin, is, well, it worked better in downwind, choppier conditions. Now, what Starboard have done with the 2024 model is they found this really happy medium between those two iterations. One of the reasons why they've been able to do that is, well, you've now got an Airline Sprint in the lineup, which again, I'm a really big fan of. It does ride very differently to the All-Star, and I'll come on to that. But yeah, they found a really happy medium in terms of the overall rocker line of the board between those two All-Star models. So it's very capable in chop still and still has a reasonable, good turn of speed in the flat. Now, compared to the Sprint, this model doesn't kind of roll and twist in the same way that the Sprint does. It's not as quick as the Sprint in flat water conditions, but it is a better all-round board. So if you're after something that kind of deals with a lot of different conditions, a lot of variability, then the All-Star Airline is for you. While if you're paddling predominantly flatter conditions with some moderate chop on occasion, the Sprint is a great option. So yeah, All-Star Airline with its breadth and its width in its forward sections up here in the shoulders, really nice and stable underfoot, very predictable. On the nose up front though, just behind those adjustable loops that we've got, you've got a FCS camera mount holder. So you can fit other things on the front there like a running light and what have you if you're paddling over winter, as we're in now filming the video. Running back down, you've got two nice really central stringers that help stiffen up the board quite a bit over its entire length. And what's great is that they're encapsulated all the way around onto the underside of the board as well. So they're doing a good job in combination with the Airline itself. Nice simple cargo net, very early on in the All Star Airlines first generation, there was no cargo net. We pushed quite hard for this to be added. We actually found that we had a number of customers that we were adding it to on those early boards. That's because this board, because of just how capable it is, it makes an exceptionally good fast touring board, particularly in a 28-inch width that this board here is. A couple of additional handles here, which if you are having beach starts and you are racing with a board, make it much, much easier to get in and out of the water quicker as a result. You do end up dragging the tail a little bit though, if that is the case, but you know, speed is of the essence. You've got another FCS single mount on the deck here, so if you want to fit you know, a bottle carrier, Starboard do a nice magnetic bottle carrier that will drop on there if you've got a stainless steel flask, for example. And then you come down to a really nice carry handle in the center. It doesn't sit flat as it does on, say, the Deluxe Light construction of this board, but it's really nice to carry the board distance if you have to. A big standout feature on the All Star Airline and All Stars and the Sprints actually are these EVA kind of raised deck pads either side of the main standing area. Now they provide a massive amount of confidence. You really can, as a paddler, engage with the full width of the board. And yeah, it might say 28 on the side of it, it might be a 26, you might even get down to a 24.5-inch wide All-Star Airline. But they ride and feel much wider and are therefore more stable than you would have with a comparable board due to those two features there. Running back down, nice, simple, really clear deck pad. Great kick up tail on the back of the board there that's providing a lot of security if you get right down the tail of this board. And if you are on the tail of this board, it's really responsive. It's stable, it's just really steady underfoot. It's worth noting the Sprint is more stable because the tail end of the board is wider. But yeah, All Star Airline, you can't argue with it at all. On the underside of the board though, you can see the Airline in effect running the entire length of the underside, that there all the way down to the US fin box. It's nice as well to see, because in previous generations, it has been a bit of a pain in the backside, the US fin box that Starboard have used, but now it's much, much easier to fit a fin, particularly aftermarket fins in this version, this more hydrodynamic version that Starboard have released with the All Star Airline. So look, if you're looking for a fast tourer, if you're looking for a really fast race board that can deal in a wide range of choppy conditions, well, the Starboard All Star Airline really should be on your shortlist, and you should be paying us a visit here at the SUP company to try it at our test centre. Thanks for watching our video. If you've got any questions about what you've seen, why not give us a call in the shop or head over to thesupco.com. To stay up to date though with all of our videos, well, make sure you subscribe up here and hit the notification bell. But to see our next video, well, take a look up here.